Welcome to Outback Outdoors. Make sure you like, subscribe, and click the alert to stay up to date on all our new videos.
Well, it's October 7th. We are en route to Nebraska to meet up with Trav and AR and hopefully get the Missouri boys their first muleys. It's been a super hot, dry summer, so the conditions are going to be a little crunchy. Doesn't look like we're going to have very much wind or anything, so it'll be interesting. Probably have to use some decoys and maybe throw the moccasins on to get close enough to the deer. And this year I have a tag, so I'm going to be in front of the camera a little bit, so I'm really stoked about that. It's kind of a last minute thing, but got the bow shooting good, so we're gonna see what happens, and hopefully there's some big old bucks on there. It's gonna be a fun time. I just really want to hunt big bucks and not put up a tent anymore. How are we doing today?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Did you get enough sleep?
I did.
Lifesaver gummies.
Oh yeah.
You want one?
They're Lifesaver gummies.
Lifesaver gummies.
These suckers are Lifesaver.
These jokers are good.
These jokers are good. God dang.
I'm glad I can be the star of this making fun of.
Lifesaver gummies.
You guys went to a different spot to glass, and that's really where you started picking out a bunch.
Yeah.
A few more bucks than what we were
Yeah,
seeing.
we had some deer come out of the standing corn that's on us. There's a bunch of standing corn surrounding the property, but there's some in the middle of the property, and we saw 8 does and a buck come out of that into one of the big draws, one of the main draws, and then another buck and doe. They kind of skirted around these coyotes, ended up meeting up with all these deer. The 2 bucks split off. So I think in the process of getting you guys up the hill to where we can kind of keep an eye on them, they disappeared. There's the glassing point. They're right here. Mr. First Draw.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I don't know.
So I'm thinking if we come up on top of that hill.
Down?
No, but this thing has hardly any cover, so I was like, what the heck, where are they going? But they just wrapped around right here and they never came back out.
What are you going to do there? Are you go down that way?
Yeah.
That way? Okay.
Let me go on this ridge and see if they popped over into this better cut. So I find this buck at the back of this thing, and it's a completely different buck. I don't know where he came from that morning or anything, but so we ended up, eventually he moved a couple times, but we ended up getting a good stalk on that.
Tell us you got some.
It's Snoops to you guys.
Oh, what you got?
I have no idea where those frickin' bucks went, but I found another one.
Shooter? That's my man. I knew it. I freaking knew it. Alright, Tanner has us a good buck spotted over here. We're gonna try to sneak around and come in on top of him. And see if we can.
He's gonna be a close shot if we can get on him, so.
Yeah. Hopefully we can.
He's still there.
Yep. So we're probably gonna have to go like back to the saddle right here. Yep. And then pop over. Good.
Tanner showed me kind of where he was bedded and stuff, and kind of what our game plan was going to be, and got the wind right and come in on him.
I would snap your binos open, and every step or so, I would just glass it, try to pick out where he's at. Okay.
We got up there, we knew it was going to have to be close before we could spot him the way he was tucked in on that cut there. I mean, the closer I was getting, the more my heart started pounding and thinking that, man, this is going to happen, you know. Just kept creeping up and finally caught a glimpse of the rack. I couldn't see his head, so I didn't figure he could see me, but he didn't like something and he bolted out of there. But
Did not hesitate.
I mean, like somebody had a hot shot, just, and I mean, he was gone.
Dadgummit. He was right there. Right there. I think he had moved from that bed to this bed, I think. Rookie. Just a rookie stalk. But it was cool. It's a pretty nice deer. That's a nice deer. Damn, that's a nice deer. He didn't stand up and give it a second chance either, did he? He bolted. He definitely changed position from when we was up there. There's no doubt. But I think his whole body was facing that way from up there. Yeah. He was literally facing this bank, looking down there.
So he's laying this way. Straight this way. No shot.
Well, that's a bummer. I thought that was a dead.
And even standing up, couldn't see his head, just his rack and his ear.
Dang, I thought that was as high a percentage. I mean, pretty good percentage, because the wind kept getting higher and higher and higher. Oh, darn it.
What's going to happen is Tanner's going to find him, but going to be in a bad spot. Going to be in a bad spot. He's sitting like this. You'll have to go in, sidestep here, press that yucca, go around, reverse pivot, back up to where you were, come back around. I think the wind will be right by then. This morning we were up at the windmill and had a pretty good vantage point, and we seen this buck and another small buck in the cornfield. They come out, jumped the fence, went down in a pretty good canyon, and we got eyes on them again. They're both 4x4s as far as I can tell. We were watching, and
this buck that we're going to be on here shortly had got up and shook his head. I think the flies got after him or something, but he ended up in about the same exact spot as ARs did the other day, yesterday. He's tucked up in the shade. We're just going to try to sneak up and see if we are able to get a shot where he's at. But if we're not, we'll probably deploy the decoy, but we'll just have to see what happens when we get there.
Throw up a prayer for me too, won't you, David? It seems that our numbers have started to fall. I thought missions were made for the will of the holy. Surely his will says this mission won't fall. Guns and get on your horses and leave all your wives and your children at home. Travis sent word that his men are outnumbered inside a mission near San Antone. Throw up a prayer for me too, won't you, David? It seems that our numbers started to fall. I thought missions made for the will of the holy. Surely his will says this mission won't fall.
I mean, it's a spot where pretty much walking, you're guaranteed to get sub 10 yards. It's also a good spot for them to tuck into, and it's real hard to see them, but you're close.
Throw up a prayer for me too, won't you, David? It seems that our numbers have started to fall. I thought missions were made for the will of the holy. Maybe his will says this mission must fall.
I end up, whenever he stood up, I just drew too fast and pulled, just arrow come off the string and planked her out, and he was gone.
Supposed to die, I guess. They're a good one next year, won't he? Oh, that's what you said the first day.
Hey, why didn't you just stab him with the freaking arrow?
That ain't no crap. I kept thinking he was up over here, but then I got to thinking he was here, so all I seen, and whenever you said his head was turning away, I seen him, but his
I'm sorry, buddy.
His eye was...
So, you want to know what happened? When you started to draw, you went like this, and you popped the knock off, and it went like this. And I was like, no, in slow motion, it dropped.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
That's all right.
Hey, that's a new record. 6 yards.
6 yards.
No, it's not a new record.
No, we didn't kill it. We didn't kill it.
Yeah, you're right.
Second days leading to glassing on the neighbor's property.
What'd you guys do? Well, we glassed the neighbors till dark, and then we went and had beer. A lot of beer.
Tanner, you had not even got your bow out yet at this juncture. And we pull out and we're going to the glassing spot. It's just light. And that's when when we saw a pretty good deer cross the road. Well, we didn't see him cross the road actually. He'd already crossed the road. He was on us from the neighbors, but he was heading down a draw, and watched him as he went down. And I think that's when you said, that's a deer I could shoot.
Oh, that coming in this morning on the road in here, had a buck. It was just getting light enough to kind of see, but it was pretty foggy this morning. Deer crossed right in front of the pickup, crossed on our side. What we've kind of been wanting the last couple of days. We've been seeing some good deer on the neighbors. Tanner was over there trying to put eyes on him, but really not sure if he was able to see because of the fog in these cuts and valleys.
So I went over to the west side of the draw, and I went down basically with the wind down, and right below me, like 90 yards, I see tine tips. And I'm like, oh crap, there he is. And so I crawled back out of there, went way around, got back to the road, drove to the other side of him, and then peeked over the ridge, and he's bedded under a bank. And so then I had, good eyes on him, and then I texted you guys, and he's under a cut bank facing this way. So either come in above him like that, the wind's gonna be quartering, or across on the top is like 40, 45. And I don't think I want to shoot that far in this wind, but I think we could come up with a decoy and he would just look.
I know it's windy and it sucks for video, audio, and all that, but for us right now, this wind is a godsend because you can get close.
I think if I get there, we'll just use the decoy no matter what, because every once in a while he snaps his head this way. Like when the combine drove by, he just snaps. He just looks. And if he's looking, he'll be looking directly away from me. But he's under 60. Yeah.
She hears a gunshot as she feels an east wind blow. Above the tree lights she can see the thick white smoke. But she ain't shaking, she knows he'll make it, he always makes it home. Yeah, they run a moonshine on that road. A Saturn moonshine is what they know. And in the moonlight you see shadows on the stones. And when the fires rise, they're gonna turn it into gold.
Dude, I was like 7 yards. Frick yeah, that was crazy. That's a nice deer. That's the best deer we've seen on here this year for sure. Dude. Yeah, I triangled it right down, I think. This was the signal. I don't know if you got it on camera or not. For Trev to skyline a decoy, one of the Montana deer decoys, and he snapped his head, and I've been watching him, and I knew when he snapped his head that way, his ears were blocking me. And so he snapped his head, and I could see his left side. I'm standing there. So I just eased out there and then stood up and oh dude, let's go. across there and see. Hopefully Trev can keep eyes on him. And I just watched that arrow bury in there, and I was like, done deal. And Levi's like, dude, you smoked it. I just went textbook. I don't think it could have gone any better.
I took off down the opposite ridge, fully expected a pile o hooves.
Yeah.
You know, in
That's
short order.
Last place I see, went around, went over, and there's a short yellow cottonwood and another one, you know, and he angled toward the shed up there. Hey.
That was freaking awesome. I was like, oh crap, I am close. I feel like I put it right where I wanted it. Maybe I was just holding too far back.
And I went up there and stood where you were, and I actually caught eyes of him basically coming back toward camp. I mean, he was headed,
taking a left.
He was headed east.
Yeah, heading east.
Like a half mile without really stopping. And I was like, I was just dumbfounded, honestly. Like, I was like, well, I don't understand.
You told me you could not have walked up and placed an arrow any better than where you hit the spot you looked at.
And I do not think that hasn't changed. And we tracked him around the corner, and then kind of lost blood. Came back, had something to eat, and we looked at the footage, and
it looks phenomenal.
Yeah, it looks
like
a dead deer.
When I seen him take the left toward camp, I said, well, we'll just go down there and find him, you know.
And then drag him up the hill to camp.
Drag him right to camp. I said, Tanner's probably good enough. He's got him running toward the tent right now. He's that good.
And he came below camp, and we gridded the creek, and then
we got a hold of the owners of the neighboring property, where we could only assume that he jumped a fence.
Yeah.
And went onto the neighbor's property.
Yeah, and we did that today. We didn't get a hold of him till this morning. We looked till dark last night, and then got a hold of him this morning. And Levi and I walked miles. I don't know how many we ended up walking, and just cannot find anything. And people always say, you know, when you bow hunt long enough, this stuff happens. But it had never happened to me. And I guess I was like, well, it doesn't have to happen to me. And I feel like it shouldn't have still happened. I'd have been less upset if I knew what I could have done better. If I'd have hit him bad, I don't want to hit him bad.
Or missed him. Yeah.
But I just feel like I could not have walked up there and stuck that arrow in a better spot. I feel like it was just textbook the whole way through, and for him to not be piled up at the bottom of that draw just really stings. Bad.
You did everything right, and it didn't work out. I think that buck's not gonna live.
No.
And we did everything in our power to recover that deer.
I feel like I executed exactly how I needed to, and it just, for some reason, it didn't work out.
Yeah. Bummer. No doubt about it.
Thanks for watching Outback Outdoors. We encourage you to comment below, and as always, like, subscribe, and click the alert to stay up to date on all our new videos.